ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Thursday, October 31st. It is Halloween. So happy Halloween to all of you. Welcome in. It's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with me on this busy evening. For those of you getting set to take your kids out for trick-or-treat, have fun tonight. And, of course, you, as parents, you all know all the safety details. I don't have to tell you anything there, but to have fun tonight as you go out and trick-or-treat with your kids. And, of course, Halloween is also a fun time because you get to watch the scary movies after you're bringing all that candy. So it's going to be fun tonight. Looking forward to it. We also got football tonight, by the way. Houston taking on the Jets. That's a horror show in itself right there. Houston and the Jets. That's coming up tonight. We'll go on the air 8 o'clock on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 because we've got the Charles Huff Show coming up tonight, 7:05. You can hear that right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Also on 93.7 The Dog. I don't think Coach Huff will be in costume, but did you see on X earlier today, Logan Osborne dressed up as Coach Huff? Had it everything. Had the hat, had the coffee, had the pullover, I think the turtleneck, had it all. He was spot on. Perfect. So Logan Osborne dressing up as Coach Huff was probably the best thing I had seen all day long on Marshall Twitter, at least, or Marshall X social media. So what do you think Coach Huff would go as? If Coach Huff was going to dress up, what do you think Coach Huff would be for Halloween? Do you think he's got to go to? Would he dress up as Nick Saban maybe? You think that'd be his costume, dressing up as Nick Saban? Text line's open this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We had a good conversation yesterday. Ryan Crisp was with us. We talked a little bit about what's happening this weekend for Senior Day. Also, we talked a little bit about what kind of updates and upgrades you'd like to see at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So we had a lot of carryover from that yesterday. So after the show, we posted the podcast. More folks posted their suggestions, and I could summarize it pretty much. Bathrooms. That's the big one. That's the one that most fans want to see at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. Bathrooms. Texter wrote in yesterday and said the bathrooms, the last time I was there, the concourse bathrooms were old and gross. Also, someone messaged me and said, Paul, I missed the show, but mine would either be upgrading the sound system or get rid of the troughs in the men's restroom. Also, from the social media post, practical upgrade, Paul, renovate the bathrooms, quality of experience upgrade, share back the entirety of the stadium. Someone else echoed in as well. Chairbacks on both sides of the stadium and a party deck with suites on the south side of the stadium. So a lot of people are saying bathroom. That's the big one. Everything else is probably, you can do that later. Get the bathrooms upgraded at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So I don't know what's in store for the future. I know that's something that has been talked about. I just don't know when such a monumental undertaking will begin for the Thundering Herd. But I'd like to see some little things progress further. I'd like to see new signage around the stadium. We talked about that yesterday. Clean it up a little bit. Maybe expand the concourse a little bit more. Change the signage out. Figure out ways to make points of sale, more convenient. Streamline that process, do things like that, give people more room to walk around those concourses at the same time, give them more opportunities for points of sale, just make the experience a lot better. You shouldn't have to wait long in a concession line. There should always be a point of sale for you. There should always be a quick avenue for you to get something. And, of course, the big one here, of course, is just to make sure that you get there early enough to get in the stadium with the new policy with the screening process. Just make sure you're there soon enough and get in the stadium as soon as you can. There's definitely going to be some options for you. On the show today, And we got a lot to get into, but we want to welcome to the program in a few minutes Mike Hammett. Mike is the play-by-play voice for ULM. We've never spoken to Mike, so I'm looking forward to this. This is the first time that Marshall has played ULM in football. And for those of you, again, if you are an older Herd fan, you go back a ways, you know that the first and only time these two teams met was in December of 1987. It was for the 1AA championship, which ULM won 43-42. So ULM owns a very, very narrow margin on the series, a one-game advantage over the Herd. And this will be the first time that Coach Huff and the new head coach of ULM, Bryant Vincent, have faced off against each other. Vincent's been pretty good so far. He's elevated this program. They're 12-8 right now overall in his tenure, but this season they're 5-2. They're 3-1 in the Sun Belt. So Mike Hammett will join us in the next few minutes. We're going to talk to him about this rise, how this Warhawk program has been elevated under Bryant Vincent, and what's he see from this matchup on Saturday. Last night, hope you tuned in because we had a heck of a game. The Dodgers beat the Yankees 7-6. LA wins the series 4-1. It is the 8th World Series title in Dodgers franchise history, and it is the 7th since the ball club moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. And Freddie Freeman named the World Series MVP. I watched this in its entirety. I at one point was thinking, okay, this is over. It's not going to go well for LA tonight. The Yankees had a lead, and then just all of a sudden, defensive breakdowns. I've never seen a team break down like that in such a big game like this. And if I have, it's been a while. But I just thought to myself, the Yankees have got this game, and they're blowing it. They are giving it away, and the Dodgers took advantage. And so the Dodgers win it in 5. It was a 4-1 series. At least it didn't end in 4. I think that's the only saving grace here. But the Dodgers, just the better team in this entirety. And so they win the World Series, so congratulations to them. And so now baseball is over. We can fully get into everything else with football tonight. College basketball is starting back up. I was kind of hoping, though, that we would have the World Series go a few more days. I would have loved to have had an opportunity to have all the major sports going at the same time. World Series coming to an end. Of course, we would have football, both college and pro basketball, the NBA, college basketball. All of that would have been fun to have going on at the same time. Hockey, I can't forget hockey, obviously. So it was a short and sweet series, but I think the best team won, so I don't think we can argue about that. And speaking of other games, actually, I don't know how many people tuned into this one last night. I was tempted for a minute, but I skipped it. Western Kentucky beat Kennesaw State 31-14. And we also have action tonight. By the way, if you're not heading to the Coach Huff show, you get a chance to go see the women. Marshall soccer team is in action, taking on Louisiana tonight at Hoops Family Field. That's the season final for the Herd. So if you haven't had a chance to head out yet and see the women, this is your final chance. So you've got that opportunity tonight, 7 o'clock at Hoops Family Field. You got the Charles Huff show coming up tonight, 7:05, right here on 93.7 The Dog and ESPN, 94.1 and AM 930. So plenty of opportunities for you to go see the Herd tonight. And this weekend, of course, we've got Marshall and ULM. And when we continue, we want to welcome to the program Mike Hammett. He's the voice of ULM football. He joins us when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We continue on with this October 31st edition. Happy Halloween to everyone. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. Don't forget, we're giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see the Herd take on ULM. That's Saturday. We'll have the game right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I want to welcome to the program now. First chance I've ever had a chance to talk to Mike Hammett. He's the play-by-play voice for ULM. He'll be in town on Saturday for this one between these two teams. And Mike, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm sorry we haven't had a chance to catch up during basketball season, but it's going to be fun this Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well. And, this is a lot of stuff to look for from ULM in this one, too, to see how they bounce back from a loss. But I think a lot of folks excited to make the trip up to Marshall, a lot of us coming for the first time. And, of course, we've heard a lot about the tradition and everything about this program, so I think we're excited to all see it in person. Just talking to your fans, and I'm sure there are a lot of fans who maybe had no idea that these two teams met in the 1AA championship game. And then for older fans, they remember it like it happened yesterday because this was a significant game. The first time these two teams met for the 1AA championship, and of course a definite springboard for Stan Humphries after that game. So has it been Marshall? Oh, okay. Or, oh, yeah, Marshall. How's that mix been? It's been pretty clear. I think everybody has a good idea of who Marshall is and all that. A lot of folks remember 1987, of course. That is still to this day, I think, easily the biggest win in program history for ULM, of course, then Northeast Louisiana. And it helps to have some familiarity. We've got Louisiana Tech about 35 minutes down the road from us, too. So, to have been in Conference USA with them for a while, that helps. Our fans are familiar with what's going on down the road, even if we don't like them very much. But, I think a lot of folks are excited about this matchup. I think they were excited to see Marshall come into the Sun Belt Conference because they know, the tradition of that program. They know it's a very good athletic program. And I'm excited, like I said, to see everything in person, to go up, been to Huntington for basketball. I've walked through Joan Edwards Stadium once. My brother was actually a GA athletic trainer there at Marshall about 12 years ago or so. So I've been there before once, but I'm glad to be back on game day and see it. But I think a lot of folks are excited about this matchup just because they know it's a good throwback to 1987 and a good memory for a lot of folks down here.
I've got to ask, have you talked to him since this game came up on the schedule, and what's he had to say?
I text him every so often, but he's off in North Dakota these days, so he's getting ready for a long winter up there. I don't think he's too concerned about it, and he puts more into his undergrad. I think he still pulls for Marshall a little bit, but he's a Nebraska alum, and he's been waiting for that program to come back for quite a while. So I'm sure he'll be paying attention a little bit to it, though, on Saturday.
Just a little bit, I'm sure. Mike Hammett's with us. He's the voice of ULM. So a lot has been made of this sudden resurgence. This program is not the program of old, is the way it was described. And there have been some really lean years between victories for ULM, and you bring in Bryant Vincent, and he's been tremendous from the start. This program, as we alluded to, sure coming off a loss, but they're 3-1 in league play, 5-2 overall, getting a lot of respect from Coach Huff. You've seen this rise. What has it been about these last 2 years that has really changed the dynamic of what we used to think ULM football was to what it is now?
Yeah, I mean, you can go, if you want to go deep dive too, you go all the way back to the 1AA days, when ULM, then NLU was really good, won that national title in '87 and a consistent playoff team, and then I think they kind of felt the pressure around here. In 1994, they made the jump to go to 1A or FBS now, and because Louisiana Tech had done so and Louisiana Lafayette had done so, and so they were kind of trying to follow suit. And if you look back on it, they weren't ready. They weren't ready to make the jump at the time, but they did and played independent for about 6 years, and it really set things back, and they've never really recovered from that, it feels like. And there's been flashes here and there. They've had seasons where they've gotten to 6 wins. They've done it 5 times since they've been an FBS school, but only 1 bowl invite back in 2012 when they went 8-4. But this year's been a bit different. This is my 7th year around the program. It's my 3rd year doing the football play-by-play, and it's different in that they're playing with a lot of energy, a lot of effort. They play hard every down. They're playing as a team. They don't let one big play start them on a downward spiral. It kind of seems like that if you just look at the box score last week at South Alabama, but that wasn't really the case. It just, a couple things got away, and then, of course, your defense is out on the field for so long, you start giving up big yards, and they've put that behind them real quick. They've really been good at turning a page. They've had a next play mentality all season long, and that's something we haven't really seen. We've seen things go sideways this season, and then the next play they bounce back. The Southern Miss game's a good example that Southern Miss blocked a field goal, returned it for a touchdown, cut the lead to 3 at that point. And in the past, ULM teams would kind of fold. They'd go 3 and out next drive and, give up a touchdown and fall behind, and it unravel from there. But against Southern Miss, they give up the blocked field goal and they respond with a touchdown drive, get a 3 and out, and get another touchdown drive and put the game away. So, Coach Vincent's come in and really bought into these players, and in turn, they've bought into him. That's the kind of culture he's trying to build. A lot of the players that stuck around in this program for this year have said, they feel like their coaches care about them as people on and off the field. That they really want to see them develop into great young men, and they care about their lives and whatnot, and that gets a lot of support back the other way. These guys want to play hard for their coaches and do that, and so I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest difference this season is this group. It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter what's going on in the game. They're about staying in the present. They're about playing hard. They're about playing with a lot of energy and intensity and effort. And that's going to keep you in a lot of ball games and give you a chance to win some games.
My guest is Mike Hammett. He's the voice of ULM and the Herd taking on ULM this Saturday. And a lot's been made about the running attack of ULM. And you look at the numbers and you see Ahmed Hardy. He's got over 100 carries, 119. He's flirting maybe with a 1,000-yard rushing season. He's been really good. What makes him so dangerous on game day?
He's been the surprise this year because they had a fairly deep backfield. They brought back Hunter Smith from last year, who was their starter, and he has not seen the field at all this year, actually. He led the depth chart coming into week 1, and then he never played a snap in week 1 against Jackson State. It was Ahmad Hardy who got the start, and a freshman out of Monticello, Mississippi, true freshman. He grew up an hour away from Southern Miss and had a big game against the Eagles, and he was motivated against them because he wasn't recruited by them, and so he had something to prove to them. But he's a powerful runner. Coach Vincent describes it as a violent runner. We've seen a lot of times where the offensive line will give him a hole, but I don't have access to the numbers. I wish I did, but his yards after contact this year have to be incredible. He has really been a guy that he doesn't typically go down on that first contact, and he can break tackles fairly well. He does a nice job of maintaining his balance and keeping the legs churning, and he's just a hard, powerful runner, and certainly has a lot to learn yet. He's just a true freshman and a lot of growth to do, but they're excited about him and excited about his future. And then if for some reason, he's struggling a little bit, they put in James Jones, who's a Baltimore native and has really broke out this season a little bit as well, and he has a little bit of burst, and he's maybe the faster of the two between him and Ahmad Hardy, and then Taven Curry's kind of their passing down guy. But, those three have really been a nice three-headed monster in the backfield. They've really given some balance to the running game, and that's what Bryant Vincent wants to do. He wants to be physical. He wants to establish the run with his team. They'll run a lot of 12 personnel, and I think that's the biggest key has been Ahmad Hardy, just a kid that is just fearless out there. He doesn't care that he's a true freshman going against guys that are sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 years older than he is these days. So he's just been fantastic and fun to watch, and certainly kind of the pulse of the offense so far.
My guest is the voice of ULM, Mike Hammett. We're breaking down Marshall and ULM coming up on Saturday. We'll have that game for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and 93.7 The Dog. So a lot's been made of the running game. Of course, you can't run if you can't pass. Marshall's had an interesting offensive quandary to deal with. Who's going to be the quarterback this week? Is it going to be Braylon Braxton? Is it going to be Stone Earl? Is Cole Pennington going to be thrown in there just for fun? We don't know. Quarterback position doesn't seem to be much of a controversy for ULM.
Yeah, they early in the season, there was a lot of excitement over the summer. They brought in General Booty, who was a transfer from Oklahoma, and a lot of fanfare around that. The Booty name means a lot in the state of Louisiana. Of course, he's had some uncles that had a lot of success at LSU, and and the family's had a lot of success in the Shreveport area at the high school level too. But he really struggled. He really did not run the offense very well through the first few games of the season. And then just before halftime at Troy, game number 4, they made the switch and went to Aiden Armenta, a redshirt freshman out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, who was at New Mexico a year ago with Bryant Vincent, where he was the offensive coordinator last year, and came with his former OC who took over as head coach here. And you could tell it's a kid that's been in the system for over a year at least and knows how Coach Vincent wants to do things. Sparked the second half rally for ULM to get a win at Troy, which is big. That's only ULM's, I believe, third win at Troy ever, and we've been conference mates for 20-some years, so that was a big win, and then led the team to the win over James Madison in his starting debut, and then beat Southern Miss fairly handily after that. He just last week felt like maybe he lost a little confidence. He missed a throw early and then struggled a little bit after that, and I think that's been addressed this week in practice, that I think he's believing in himself, and he's going to come out Saturday ready to go and try to hit some of those throws again. But he just has a command of the offense. This offense feels a lot better in his hands than it did with General Booty. That feels like they can move the ball up and down the field. So certainly it's been a lot better the last few games. Tailed off a little bit against South Alabama just because they had to get out of their system a little bit, falling behind. But he's really made this move a lot better over the last few weeks.
Mike Hammett's my guest, voice of ULM. Marshall taking on ULM Saturday. The game right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. This game means a lot for both. We're at this point in the season where the contenders from the pretenders, and right now ULM a contender, only one loss in league play, still everything in front of the program. Same thing with Marshall, sitting at 2-1. This game is important for both. And it's been probably a long time since ULM's been in this situation where late season games really matter. Yeah. How do you think this team, how do you think this program is going to respond to knowing that, hey, these games matter late with the way that the seasons have gone the last few years?
Yeah, these are big games. They're well aware of, first of all, their first goal on the list is to get to win number 6, get to bowl eligibility. And like I said, they've been bowl eligible 5 times here, but only 1 invite. So they know 6 may not be enough. ULM's usually one of the first ones cut out if there's too many teams for bowl games. So they know they need 7, maybe 8, just to feel comfortable about going to a game. But that's goal number 1. They just want that 6th win. They want to get bowl eligible. And the rest of it is kind of gravy, really. I mean, if you can get that 6th win, then it's about going and finding a way to win the Sun Belt West, and it's about finding a way to play in the championship game and all that. And so I think they're focused on right now getting win number 6. They just came off of a bye week before South Alabama where, the 5-1 start and being 3-0 in the conference. 5-1 hadn't been done since 1987, when they won the national championship. So they were getting patted on their back quite a bit for a couple of weeks, and everybody telling them how good they were and all that. And, that's come to an end a little bit after last week at South Alabama. So I think they're focused. I think they're locked in again. They know the task at hand, but, Coach Vincent told us today he's not talking about bowl game anymore. He doesn't want the guys to feel the pressure. He's like, it's just one game at a time. Take it as it is. But you're right. I mean, there's a lot on the line. If they could win Saturday, then that makes Texas State next week even bigger. And then you've got a rare, the late season SEC game with Auburn thrown in there. But then Arkansas State in a few weeks. ULM, for whatever reason, cannot beat Arkansas State. It's been 15 years since they beat Arkansas State. So that'll be a tough one. And then, of course, the rivalry at the Cajuns to wrap it up. There's no easy games left. They know they've got to just take it one game at a time, and if they can keep winning, each one gets bigger than the last. And same goes for Marshall. I mean, this Sun Belt is wide open this year, both East and West. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's good to play meaningful football in November. It's been a long time since it's been that way here, probably since 2018 anyway, when ULM went 6-6 that year. So excited to see it, and excited to see it really get going Saturday.
What is it with these rivalries here? The Georgia guys, when I get them on, both from Southern and State, I think that they joke about not liking each other, but they think they really hate each other. And then you got Louisiana here. What do you think's the better group of rivals here, the Georgia schools or the Louisiana schools?
As far as a rivalry in this league, I think a lot of folks, it's not even within states. I think it's probably Georgia Southern and App State just because of their history in the FCS playoffs and whatnot, and they do not like each other at all. The Georgia rivalry, I think Georgia State maybe makes a bigger deal out of that. Is kind of how I see it on the outside because they're the newer program. But, down here, it's kind of, trust me, the Cajuns don't want to lose to ULM, and ULM hates everything about the Cajuns, so much so that I'm not even calling them by their school name with you in case anybody from ULM's listening, because there's a lot of contention over the point of what they're called. There's no flagship school in the University of Louisiana system, which we're both part of, and yet in athletics they have really adopted that moniker, and ESPN's bought in with them on that, and so it's a whole thing down here about that name and us still being just ULM. So it's certainly something that's been interesting to learn about in my time here. But you know what? I got to stay with my folks. I know where the paycheck's coming from. I'm not calling them by that name. I'm just going to call them the Cajuns and move on. But yeah, it's a pretty fun rivalry. But I got to go Sun Belt. It's got to be App State and Georgia Southern. I think that's the best rivalry in this league.
Yeah, I like it as well. And of course, with the Cajuns, just because you're my guest, the Cajuns. Yeah, isn't the game notes also the kind of like do not call them what they want to be called? Your game notes call them the Raging Cajuns.
The game notes just say Raging Cajuns. Yeah, they don't say that you can't call them that, but they just say Raging Cajuns. They don't even make a reference to that on the website or anywhere. So, yeah, they try to avoid it as best they can.
I like it. That's the kind of stuff I love about college football. I'm not saying that's petty, but it is, and I am here for it.
It's a little bit, but there's some bad blood in there. A lot of folks upset by that, and so hey, as long as my paycheck comes from where it comes, I'll call them what they want me to call them down here, that's for sure.
I like it. Mike Hammett's with us. He is the voice of ULM. The game is on Saturday, 3:30. We'll have it for you here locally on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. While I've got you, before we let you go, I know you've seen by now the new Sun Belt Tournament basketball bracket, the road of death. I don't know what to call it, but if you're seed 14, you're going to be playing an entire week if you want to win that championship. I think I like it. I don't know how the rest of the league is taking to it right now, but I think I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting, to see that. I think a lot of folks I've seen anyway, some of us talking back and forth. A lot of us broadcasters in the league are really good friends, and we all talk with each other. And I think the overwhelming majority of us don't like it, just from the angle of that's a lot of money to spend if you're the first team to show up and you keep winning games. That you're racking up quite a bill anyway, and expenses and everything. But, it is what it is. We'll show up when they tell us to show up, and we'll leave when they tell us to leave. And certainly an interesting format. I'm interested to see, though, how it impacts the top two seeds who have to sit around. They have a long layoff between games, and you're going to play a team that's used to playing in the Bay Center there in Pensacola, which is a hard place to relearn how to play every year because it's a bit bigger than most of the arenas we play in. So, going to be interesting to see how that plays out in March. It'll certainly be a lot different.
Athletic directors just need to tell their coaches, win more games. I mean, that's
win more games, yeah. That's right.
Win more games. Save us some money. Win more games.
That's right. That's the goal. We want to show up later in the week in Pensacola. But, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out come March.
Could you imagine? Hopefully for you it's going to be a lot easier, but every single day you're going to be calling a game if ULM, say, is 14th and has to go all the way for a week. I mean, I can't – good luck on making your spotting boards.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've already thought about that. If we're on the first day and we play all the way through, I'm going to be exhausted, and I got to roll right into baseball as soon as we get done with that, unless we win and, go on to the tournament. But, it's – and, of course, I cover our women's team down at the tournament as well since they're in the same spot. So that'll be the challenge. We're getting ready to start No Sleep November tomorrow, as I call it, with the football and men's basketball crossover. So it'll be just like it for sure. And so I'm interested to see. Like I said, I'm interested to see how this plays out and see what everybody thinks after we all experience it once coming up in March.
My guest, Mike Hammett, looking forward to seeing you on Saturday here at the stadium. Should be a fun one. I'm hoping we get some good weather for you as well. It might be a little cooler than you're used to, but still, I think we're going to have a great game on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it, Mike.
Sounds great. Anything's better than 89 degrees in Mobile like we had last week.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that completely. It actually feels like a little bit like fall here. So, it should be a better situation. Mike, thanks for the time. I do appreciate it. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Sounds great. Thank you.
That's Mike Hammett, everyone. He is the voice of ULM. When we continue, we'll get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Back on everything, and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
Hey, it's Lex and Terry, K&B Pest Control, locally owned and operated in Huntington, West Virginia, serving the tri-state.
Man, these guys are great. They do residential and commercial, indoor, outdoor, free estimates. These guys are the best, I'm telling you.
This is when the critters come out. High customer ratings, satisfaction guaranteed, large fleet, crew, meaning same-day appointments, and quick service.
All you got to do is pick up your phone and call Patrick, the owner. Okay, that's what you got to do. Or Becca. They're standing by to take care of you guys. It's K&B Pest Control. pestcontrol.com online, and give them a call, man. They got a great Facebook page. Go ahead and like it. They got a phone number. We'll give you that. Why not? It's free. 304-523-4281.
Or go to kmbpestcontrol.com. They will tell you what everything looks like, what you're looking for, if you're getting a pest problem, and get on top of it. They're the best. Make sure you call Patrick once again, who was very passionate about his pest control, or Becca. K&B Pest Control. They'll kill for your business.
Trust the guys with over 40 years of experience at K&B Pest Control.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Kindred Digital Sports is proud to bring you the Marshall Orthopedics High School Game of the Week, presented by the Marshall Sports Medicine Institute. This Friday night, the Cabell Midland Knights and the Capital Cougars are set to do battle in Charleston at UC Stadium. Watch live HD video from Charleston on this station's Facebook page or website. The Cabell Midland Knights versus the Capital Cougars. It's the Marshall Orthopedics High School Game of the Week from Kindred Digital Sports.
Attention, men. If you are listening to this radio ad, congratulations. There is great news. Right now, Noxitril, a leader in men's health, is conducting a research study, and you can take part in this free trial. A powerful discovery for men has been touted as a revolutionary step in male enhancement and performance in the bedroom. You can participate in this free trial, but you need to hurry to get your spot. The demand to try this proprietary male performance blend has been insane. This all-natural breakthrough is changing the game for men and will unlock your door to perform with the confidence in the bedroom you could only dream of. Space is limited, so call now and find out how to get started with your free bottle.
Call 800-480-4983, 800-480-4983. Hurry now, demand is insane, and free bottles won't last long. So call now, 800-480-4983. That's 800-480-4983, 800-480-4983.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today, a new creature walks among us, causing fear, mayhem, and injury.
Stay back, children.
Look out for the dreaded digital deadwalkers. With faces pressed against their little handheld devices, they put all good citizens in harm's way.
Hey, dude, I'm walking here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with healthy bones.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Welcome back to our Thursday edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Happy Halloween to everyone. Hope you're getting set to go out and get a gigantic bag of candy today. One of the best nights of the year. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Again, 304-396-TALK. We're giving you a chance to win a 2-pack of tickets for the game on Saturday. So you know how this works. And if you don't, let me refresh you. You text in, and if it's good, you're entered to win. Real simple. So we've got Coach Huff Show coming up tonight. I'm kind of curious how many people will be dressing up for that. Maybe on their way to Halloween events. You think Coach Huff will dress up tonight for the show? Probably not. You think Steve Cotton will dress up for the show? Okay, probably not as well. But we've got the Coach Huff Show coming up tonight right here on 93.7 The Dog and ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Also, Marshall women's soccer action taking on the Raging Cajuns. And, of course, we are not going to reference them as Louisiana in honor of our guest earlier, Mike Hammett from ULM. They don't reference Louisiana. They just reference Raging Cajuns because, well, I'm here for that level of petty. So we'll do that as well, just in honor of him tonight. Marshall women taking on the Raging Cajuns, 7 o'clock at Hoops Family Field for the season finale. Back to our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, keep the troughs in the men's room. Please just give us new ones. Don't know about East Side, but West is embarrassing. Have to be original. I want the money tree to be shaken so hard that when you get those new restrooms, it is the nicest stadium restroom or restrooms in all of sports. Herd fans deserve that. And let's be fair, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but I'm sure that there are a lot of construction sins inside that stadium that are known or unknown. I'm sure there are a lot of places where some corners were cut only because I know how these things work and what state we're in. I mean, the Henderson Center, it was going to be a palace, and then it just got cut. Could have been really a fantastic palace, and instead we got what we got. Football stadium, though, was a major upgrade for Marshall football. No slight needed. Fairfield Stadium had served its purpose, it served it with distinction, and it was just time for Marshall to move to a modern facility. And for the most part, I think that Marshall got a great stadium, and now you just need to make sure that you're doing the proper maintenance and the upkeep on that. So, anytime you want to talk upgrades, I think you got to look at the infrastructure. You got to look at how the upgrades prolong the life of the stadium and also serve the fans. Whatever you do, I need it to serve the fans, because one day when I'm not doing this job anymore, I'm going to a Marshall football game and I'm going to be a fan, just like you. I'm going to be rooting on the herd. I'm going to be biased as can be, no objectivity whatsoever, and I'm going to go to the concession line and I'm going to get something to drink and eat just like everybody else does, and I'm going to the bathroom just like everyone else does. And I hope that it's going to be a great experience, because I am blessed and spoiled at the same time right now where I'm at, and I understand that, and I appreciate that, but I do understand that I got it better than some, and so I'm humbled by that, and I just want to make sure that, when we talk about let's do things that make the experience great for everyone right now. Not everybody gets to hang out in the press box. And so when you go to a football game, you want to make sure that the experience is great. Not just the game, but the stadium. You want to make sure that concessions, it's easy, it's stress-free, you got plenty of options, the restrooms are easily accessible, and you've got plenty of opportunities to have a great experience. And that means everything from the restrooms to the concessions to the entertainment options. So a lot of options you need to explore when it comes to upgrading the stadium. We'll get more of those texts in a minute. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We alluded to it earlier. We'll talk about it in detail when we continue. The Sun Belt changing the way that the bracket looks for basketball in Pensacola. If you're a team that's a 1 or 2 seed, you got to win 2 games, and that's it. You're the champion. If you're a 3 or 4 seed, you got to win 3 games, and then you're a champion. If you're the 14 seed, that's going to be a long road, and we'll talk about it when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big money on your next project right now at Menards, your lighting headquarters. Find the perfect lighting for your home with new selectable color temperature True Wave LED bulbs from Sylvania. Simply adjust the color temperature to change the lighting in a snap. Save big on Sylvania True Wave selectable color temperature bulbs. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118. At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment for today's edition of The Drive on this Halloween. Happy Halloween to everyone. Text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Talking a little bit earlier about some of the upgrades that maybe could be happening at Joan C. Edwards Stadium in the future. What would you like to see? Keep those coming. We always relay those back to Marshall. And I mentioned that one day I would love to, just when it's over, when my career is over, I just want to come into Joan C. Edwards Stadium. I want to buy a hot dog. I want to buy a cold drink. I want to sit in the stands. I just want to yell at the other team and be biased. And I want to be no longer this, now, air quotes here, this objective voice on the radio, end of quote. Tasha says, Paul, you want to be a regular fan? Come sit with my family in Section 106. You'll hate it. What's so bad about 106? I appreciate the text. What's so bad about 106? I mean, there's no chairbacks there, right? Yeah, there's no chairbacks in 106. That might be part of it. And that's another thing. I want chairbacks. I want every section to have chairbacks. Every section in the stadium, I want to have chairbacks. Of different levels, that's fine. You want to have the cushy ones in the big green zone, that's fine. I think every seat should have comfortable chairbacks. And I would decrease the capacity of the stadium, make the seat a little bit more valuable, make the seat more comfortable. I would do everything I could to possibly improve my fan enjoyment of the game, everything I possibly could. If I can make that investment, I'd take those seats out and I'd put Kelly Green seats in, and I'd put Kelly Green seats in the rest of the. How great would that stadium look? With all the chairbacks and everything Kelly Green, how great would that look? So you can text in as well, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And again, we're giving you a chance to win tickets to pack to go see the Herd take on ULM coming up this Saturday. Okay, so let's try to get into this quickly and break it down to the best of our abilities. So, the Sun Belt today announcing a new format for basketball. And this is going to be both for men and women. Now, what this means is the dates are going to stay the same, but there's no longer going to be the off day for teams that start sooner. All 14 teams are invited. Everybody gets to play. So all 14 members will participate both on the men's and women's side. And so what the league's trying to do is prioritize the value, it said in its release, of the 18-game conference regular season. So the number 1 and 2 seeds are going to get byes to the tournament semifinals. So if you're a 1 or 2 seed, you're not playing to the semifinals. If you're a 3 or 4 seed, you get also a bye, but you're going to be playing starting with the quarterfinals. And so that initially was given to the top 4 seeds, but now if you're a 1 or 2, you're in the semifinals. You win 2 games, you're the league champion. And the brackets will eliminate the rest days. Higher seeded teams no longer face a lower seeded team coming off a rest day. And so keep this in mind. You're not eliminating days, you're eliminating the rest days. And women's basketball tournament will be the same. The games will be in the morning session. The men will play in the evening session. So primarily mid-morning, early afternoon for the women, early evening for the men. It keeps it consistent. And with the bracket being the way it is, if you're a 14 seed, you start out, you got to play every single day. Let's use this as an example. We'll look at the men's bracket as an example. It's glorious. I love it. So let's just say, for argument's sake, just for our entertainment purposes only, let's say Marshall, you know what? Marshall is projected to be a 10 seed, all right? We'll use Marshall's projection in the Sun Belt. 10 seed. So if Marshall's projected a 10 seed and that comes to fruition, Marshall would play on the second round Wednesday, March 5th. And the 10 seed will play either the 14 seed or the 11 seed from the previous day. If Marshall wins, the 10 seed would then advance to the next day, the third round. And then if you win the third round game, the fourth round the next day. And then if you win, you get to the quarterfinals on Saturday, March 8th. And just counting how many games Marshall would have to win if Marshall was a 10 seed, using, again, the predicted order of finish. So you would play a game starting with the second round. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. You're playing 6 games. If you are playing in one of those first day games and you want a shot at winning the championship, you got to play 7 games. You're going 7 straight days to play to get to hopefully a championship. But if you're seed number 1, you're seed number 2, you play Sunday, March 9th, and if you win, you play Monday, March 10th. That's it. You play 2 games. And if you are a 4 seed or a 3 seed, you play 3 games. So the higher your seed, the better off you are. So if you're, say, a 5 seed, you know what? You might have a run in you because you've had an opportunity to play a couple of games. Is this going to be a tournament in which, okay, you get some familiarity in Pensacola, you get an opportunity to play a couple more games? Will the 1 and 2 seed, will that rest be more beneficial, or will there be rust? Would it be better coming at this thing as a 6 seed maybe? Would a 3 or 4 seed be better? There's so many questions to see how this plays out, but all these games are going to be on ESPN Plus with the championship on ESPN2. This is designed to reward your regular season performance. And that's going to do it for this edition. Back with you tomorrow. We will do it one more time here ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I want to thank my guest tonight, Mike Hammett. He's the voice of ULM. Appreciate him being with us on the program. Look forward to having him here in Huntington for game day on Saturday. Don't forget, anytime you miss the show, you can go back and catch it. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or all major platforms that carry podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast is where you're going to find the show. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you tomorrow here, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.